So the centralization and decentralization for management, the owner for this is the Henry Viol. Okay. They have also a straight chain of command that extends the unbroken from the unlimited officer to the lowest rank, to the lowest rank. Also, the Henry Viol proposed something new as a equity, how the staff are equal to each other in the company, the stability of the tenure and of the personnel. Also, he mentioned about the initiative, how the staff be initiative. They take the initiate to do something in the company. So they take the initiative. So they are initiative. He mentioned this basic or this principle of management approach for the Henry Viol, which is the initiative, how to be initiative, how to do something by your own, not by encouraging or pushing by someone else. Okay. So the third one is the quantitative approach to management. The quantitative approach to management. So sometimes is known as the operation, research, or management science. Sometimes it's known as the operations, research, or management science. They use the quantitative techniques to improve the decision making. So they are using here the quantitative technique to improve the decision making. The quantitative here means how much the staff is doing for his work. So I set a goal for the staff. Let's say I'm asking for the librarian in the library to catalog or to shelving the books on the shelf, as let's say I want from this staff or particular staff to put these books on the shelf as 50 books per day. So I'm measuring the staff work by setting a quantitative instrument for his performance. So here is sometimes known as the So it's orientated or organized during the first or during the World War II as mathematical and statistical solutions to the military problems. So here I want from you to focus on the bold font, that it could become as a true and false question, as a true or false question. Okay, so when this approach was organized, during the World War II. So here they applied a business or linear programming, which is a mathematical method for determining a way to achieve the best outcome, such a maximum profit. So how maximum profit you can do per day. This is their approach. How much money you can give me per day, till what extent you can work, how many hours you can work per day, and this is what we call it as the quantitative approach for management. So work scheduling and optimization models. So as we can see here, they are putting for them a schedule, a scheme for their work, a timetable to achieve the work. Okay. So also they are pushing them to optimize the work. So the most efficient transport pattern is to carry commodities from the point of the supplier to the markets, giving the volumes of the production and demand together with the unit transport cost. Economic order quantity model. He focused on the economic order quantity model. So how much you are saving money when you order a quantity or a quite number of items by quantity approach. So in this method, our interest here on the raw materials that we can going to use in the production. So the quantitative approach is using the ready-made materials or raw materials. No, he's using the raw materials, the very fresh fragrant materials. Okay, guys. The number four is the organizational behavior, OB. So it might be a multiple choice or true or false questions. I like the abbreviation or the short form of the idioms. So OB refer to organizational behavior. OB refer to organizational behavior. As you are studying here, our specialist is management. We need to focus and keep remembering and memorizing the short forms. So in our everyday life, we are using short forms. Okay, so be aware and sure to memorize these short forms. So OB here is the field of study that concerned with the behavior of people at work. So they are studying the mental. They are studying how people behave at work, how they are consuming any certain products. So OB approach here includes the study of leadership, trust, teamwork, and conflict management. So as we can see here, the leadership is more to characteristic. The trust is more to mental. The teamwork is more on how to manage the people. The conflict management is also as well, and so on. The Hawthorne studies are the most significant contribution to the field of organizational behavior. So the Hawthorne studies is the most significant contribution to the field of organizational behaviors. So organizational behavior assists the managers in designing jobs that is motivated to the workers, in working with the employee teams, and in facilitating the flow of the communication within the organization. So the behavioral approach here provide the foundation for the current theories of motivations, leadership, groups, behavior, and development. So again, please focus on the bold font in each slide. It might be in your exam day. The number fifth is the systems approach. What is the systems approach? When was this system approach established or appear to the world? In 1916s, the management researchers begin to analyze the organizations from a system perspective. So in 1960s here they start thinking, why don't we systematic the company or the management? Why don't we look on the management through a systematic way? So the system here, this is very good question for exam, is a set of interrelated and interdependent parts arranged together in a manner that produce a unified whole. So we have many elements which is independent and at the same time they are correlated, they are integrated. So these all elements they are working together to in a unified manner, in the unified way of working to produce the final outcome, which is the product actually. So the two basic types of system are open and closed. So I might give you in the exam day, okay, uh, when the system approach was established, which is 1960s. Okay, what is this system? Define or give me definition of the system, which is a set of integrated and independent and so on, and determine the two systems kind. So we have two kinds of system, closed and open. Closed, which is influenced by and does not interact with its environment. See though, the closed system is never affect or get affected by anyone outside or inside. Whereas the open system here, they interact with the environment. So he get affected and got affected. So he affect and got affected by the outside or inside environment. So here organizations are open systems. Mainly the organizations who's seeking for profit, they are open system. So in the exam day, I might tell you that organizations or companies are mainly closed system, open system, none of these choices. So you choose open system. So they receive the inputs from the environment, they transfer and they combine and they transform these inputs into the distributed into the environment. So they make input, processing and output. So input, processing, output, input, processing, output. Okay, the system here approach recognize the organizations that are not self-contained, independent. They rely on and they are affected by the factors in their external environment. So these are the organizations. They rely on, they dependent, and they are independent. At the same time, they are got affected by the factors which is outside and inside the environment. The contingency approach is the view that the organizations recognize and respond to a situational variables or as they arise. So here, as we can see from this approach, which is the most weak approach, he's proposing this approach that, okay, we backseat in our company, waiting the risks and waiting the disasters to come. Only then we can take a step ahead, or only then we can start moving. So this approach is waiting the disaster to come, only then we move and try to have a solutions. So sometimes called a situational approach, because they only move when there is an event, when there is something that make us move and rise. So here organizations are different from one to another. Here they face different situations and require different ways of managing. So this is the two basic approach for this approach that is different from another. So each company has different ways of thinking and different ways of managing. So the contingency variables here that can have impact on managers is organization size, the routineness of the task technology, and the environmental uncertainty and the individual differences. So these 3 or 4 elements, this make any organization from any other organization different. Okay, so this is differ from one organization to another. So this is the name of the contingency approach or the emergency approach. The emergency approach. What are the current trends and issues about the management? Like globalization, organization operations are no longer limited by national borders. So we are going global. Globalization is means marketing your products overseas, globally with no limited to any border. So as now, in Facebook, for example, we have, if you want to promote for your product, you can choose what kind of segment or what the population you need to promote the product in. So you choose, let's say, in Malaysia only, I want to my product to be reachable overseas, Australia, US, Europe. So it's up to you. As long as you are paying, you can promote your product globally. Globally, ethics is the case of corporate lying, mispresentation, and financial manipulation. So this ethics means have some manners and have some ethics on how to deal and establish your company in related with the international or standard ethics. Okay, so here organizations are taking a more active role in creating and using the codes of ethics. Ethics here, training programs and ethical hiring procedures. So workforce diversity refers to the workforce that is actually mixed in terms of gender, race, ethnicity, age, and other characteristics that reflect to the difference. The entrepreneurship here is to pursuit or to the chase of opportunities. If you have studied the entrepreneurship subject, basically is seeking for opportunities or for good and estimated opportunities, which is these opportunities is valuable and gives money to the company. So they are chasing the opportunities and they are looking into the problems as a way to have a new customers or new opportunity. So the problems, we see the problems as opportunity to discover more and to go ahead more. And the innovation and the growth, these are the three basic elements for the entrepreneurship. Managing in an e-business world. E-business means electronic business like Facebook, like Instagram. So they are promoting their products by using the social media, the e-business, using electronic or internet-based linkage with the key constituencies in order to efficiently and effectively achieve the goals. Knowledge and management and leader or learning organization. Knowledge management is also a very different subject. I think you have studied this subject before. It's called knowledge management. It involves in cultivating plant a learning culture where the organizational members systematically gather knowledge and share it with the others in the organization. So knowledge management is all about how to manage the knowledge in your company. And the knowledge has two different kinds, which is explicit and implicit. The implicit is the knowledge is inside the staff or the employee that cannot be explicit, that cannot be outside him. He cannot convey this knowledge to outsiders. And the implicit also in the opposite way. Learning organization here develop the capacity to continuously learn, adopt, and the change. So learning organization means here having a system in the organization that keep the staff all the time up to date with the information which is related to their fields. Or as we can see, we can have also some companies or some international companies like Google and Facebook. They have a learning center. They have a learning center in the company that keep the staff all the time up to date with their knowledge and information related to their profession. QM or quality management is a philosophy of management that is driven by continual improvement and respond to a customer needs and expectation. Okay, guys, these are the reference you can refer to in case you need to have some further information. Thank you very much for today. In case you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact me or send me an email. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Please don't log out until the session is closed by itself in order for the attendance to be okay.